Hello everyone, it's Brett here, Lionheart 84, and we've got here the tail of the two Cherimoyas. Now these were seed growing Cherimoyas. I had three, but I did sell one last year, which a chap sent me a message and said it's doing fine and it's growing, so I'm really delighted. Now if you recall, and you've been on my channel for some time, you'll remember that I had these two out last probably November, and I got one inside and I left the other one out for a couple of days because I hadn't made room for it inside, and we got only a very light frost. I think it was -1 or -2, and I'd thrown frost fleeces over it, and yet this one died back to almost the ground. And in fact it was literally a bare stalk like that from about, I think I cut it back in December after it took damage, and the bark on it just simply wrinkled up, so there was no way, and I scratched it and it was brown. It was dead right down, and I cut it right back to about a foot where there was still some green showing, and that sat inside my front room all winter and did absolutely nothing, and it was still scratching green in, I think, late spring or early summer. So I decided to put it in the summer house and just leave it in there, and suddenly about June or July, so a good 6 months later, it started to put shoots out from the base, which it's still doing down here now. And this growth here, which is nearly a metre, so about 3 feet, has grown from June to now, which is November. So that's recovered quite well, and obviously if I look after that, and that's going inside in a minute, if I look after that over winter, there's no real reason why it shouldn't carry on recovering, and then I could graft onto it. Now this is the one that I got inside, luckily. Now these were grown from seed a good, well, must be 12 years ago now. Time flies, and look at the size of the leaves on some of this new growth at the top. I mean, it's bigger than my hand, absolutely huge. Now what I did with this one, if you recall, I had a grafted Gefner that was dying. It got root rot and it was dying back, and I trimmed some of the branches off that were still green, and I decided to have a go at grafting them to this. So this, I put about 5 grafts on, and I think 4 have taken. So there's this one here, which is fine. So this is a Gefner. This one here, you can see the parafilm has peeled off, but that's the cleft graft I used, and this one is also alive. It's actually got flower buds on it, not it's going to come to anything. There's a graft here that has taken, and that looks okay. So that's 3. This one here has failed. There's a graft there that did fail. So there's at least, and I think there's one up here as well. Yes, I think there's 4. This one looks alive. So there's 4 grafts that have taken, which I'll have to be careful not to knock off when I bring it inside, obviously. But quite exciting. I'm going to do a little trim in a minute and just remove a couple of branches that are encroaching on where the grafts are. And obviously if there's any dead growth, I'll remove that. But I'm going to keep this in my kitchen and hope that the grafted scions don't die back over winter, because it does tend to get dieback in winter in the kitchen. Doesn't like the dry atmosphere and the low light levels, but I try and put it in a position where it will get some light, and more importantly where I won't knock it and knock those grafts off. So I'm going to give it a quick trim, but I knew people would be interested to see how the one that died back to the ground had recovered. You can see how big that one would have been, because it's got the same, pretty much the same size trunk as the one that didn't get the dye back. And lesson learned, don't leave them out a day or two too late, because people have told you that Cherimoyas are cold hardy. It was -1 that turned a plant that size into that, and that was covered in fleece, so they are not our kind of frost or tolerant. Thanks for watching the video anyway. I'm going to get these inside now while I've still got light and I can make room for them, and appreciate it if you'd give me a thumbs up, share the video of course, subscribe to my channel if these sort of things interest you, especially growing in the UK, and remember to click on the bell if you like updates on new videos when they come out. I'll see you all soon. Brett out for now.